I've known these people for a very long time in
time.
many different contexts, which sounds exactly like what it is.
Yeah.
But we've got on the show Amy Bloom and Matthew Lewis.
That's her. She's Amy Bloom.
How you guys doing?
I've always wondered how you fit so many people in the studio for all that crowd noise, and now I know
Now
your
you know the
secret.
secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody though.
Don't, you,
Not here.
don't let them know.
They
Why
are
would
here,
you? Why would you?
Matt.
tell
Power
that?
of the
Spoiler
internet.
alert.
Why would you tell that?
Spoiler
You
alert.
don't see them?
Well, speaking of being able to see things that aren't really there,
Daydreaming.
Amy, you are the star and creator of a brand new series called Boozy Mom.
Yes, I am. My first foray into creating.
Yeah, it's a big day.
Yeah,
Or
big day.
It's a big day.
Big day.
It's a big day. So where,
Boozy Mom,
where
guys.
short of a bottle of tequila, where did this idea come from?
Where did this idea come from? I think one day I had a glass of wine in my hand, and we're like, "Hey, what do you do really well?" And I was like, "I do boozy really well." And so it just kind of came in a really awkward kind of way.
Yeah, well, I think it was just, as Brendan well knows, Amy is, good friends with a variety of wines. And I think one day she was walking around probably at the office, to be perfectly honest, and a little bit like, I just kind of want to, and we're like, you should just do that on television. That's a thing. and
Full time.
Fast forward a couple months and we've got a show. So yeah,
Wow.
it was a real acting stretch for her. She was very method in getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing the episodes are short then.
Yeah, no, yeah. And they, unfortunately, they take a little longer to shoot than they air, because by the time we're on the last scene, it's really like, I don't know I can do this anymore.
So you guys have 6 episodes, I believe?
Oh, five.
Five right
yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Six we wrote.
And then
we
that
got
bottle
to
of wine happened.
Yeah, and 5 got shot. And then you can reverse, go backwards from there. So yeah, 5 episodes. But yeah, we just kind of just kicked off a couple days ago. It's online. Our friends at Hello Giggles, all the Zoe Deschanel's website, gave us a little shout out and kind of kicked it off. But it's just happened. It's
Okay.
brand freaking new.
That's awesome.
So it's out there at boozymomtv.com, and it's cool. It's really. Why don't you tell them what is Boozy
Yeah.
Mom?
Boozy Mom is an imperfect mom trying not to. Wait, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Trying not
And
to
get
fuck-
up in that mic.
Yeah.
Just get up
Trying
in
not
it.
to fuck up our kids too much.
Yeah.
Successfully or unsuccessfully?
Probably unsuccessfully.
Right.
Definitely her children are like, what the fuck is going on with this lady? But it's really fun. We're kind of representing the community of moms out there that just can't get it right.
Actually, pretty accurate. Yeah, it's a little bit Roseanne-ish, like a new generation Roseanne,
Okay.
a younger generation Roseanne. I mean, her
Yeah.
kid, they all get along well. They're all on the same team when it comes down to it, but otherwise, it's a lot of infighting. The snarky kid, and the kids are smarter than the mom most of
Right.
the time, and mom teaching them tough
Majority
lessons.
of the
and
time, yeah.
Fun way. There's a fun episode about Boozy Mom catches her teenage daughter making pot brownies, and like any Boozy Mom would do, spoiler alert, kind of forces her to eat all of them at once.
Teach her a real lesson and eat
yeah.
some with her. at
Yeah,
the
and of
same
course, may have had some as well, but yeah, won't spoil the ending. But it's interesting, and that's the show. It's just Boozy Mom doing the things that I think moms would do if their level of
If their moral barometer was
a little lower,
Right.
a little lower, yeah.
Well, not being
All
held to
things
the
you wish.
the full long-term consequences.
Right, exactly.
Like in that moment, what you want to do to your kids, but you're like, no, but I really can't do that
Yes.
because they'll take the kid away.
kind of like
Boozy
that.
Mom
Kind of like
can do it
that
all.
Amy Poehler in Mean Girls. How she's like
There you go.
she's the mom
Yes.
who's like,
the cool mom.
yeah, I'm cool mom.
Yeah, I'm
like
cool mom.
they're virgin unless you want some alcohol in them.
yeah, that's it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, that's it. So there we are.
Awesome. Now, if we go to Boozy Mom TV,
Yeah,
will we see all? Are you
Yeah.
guys doing all the episodes? They're
They're all
all
out.
out there.
Everything's out.
That's cool.
it's all out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, good. There's
Yeah,
a
we
bunch
just,
of them.
we just wanted to throw it all out there.
Yeah, we're hoping to make a couple more. We've got a couple great scripts kind of in the bank, and of course, it's a lot of people. I mean, Brendan and Amy, we've all worked together a bunch of times, and it's all. I mean, if you're familiar with Brendan's work or Amy's work, and you watch the show, you're going to notice more than a couple familiar faces. It's a very small community of people.
It almost looks like we were on set of one of the other
Yeah.
things we filmed and just said, "Hey, are you free right now?" Like,
come over here. Are you guys busy? What are you doing on break? It's like we're gonna do
Yeah.
a whole different fucking show. We got 20 minutes to shoot it.
Right.
We'll just make it up as we go. But we have Haley Mancini, who's obviously in VGR with you guys.
PG
And,
Marino.
PG Marino, very funny guy. People you've kind of seen on everything. PJ's all over TV. He's
Yeah.
that guy where you're like, wasn't Yeah, it's that guy.
Right.
You know, he's great.
Now,
Yeah.
speaking of things we've worked on before, we were all in a web series called Video Game Reunion,
Yeah.
Yes.
which was about video game characters at a convention in Las Vegas.
That's right.
And we actually went to Las Vegas for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
To film it?
To film it. Well, that was the premise of why we went to Las Vegas. We did end up making a show eventually.
In between
we just
baseball
wanna go to
tournaments.
Yes.
Vegas.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, we
Cool.
took over the whole hotel, I think, and it did, rapidly deteriorate into what happens when you put an entire film crew in a hotel with no adult supervision and unlimited booze. There was more than our fair share of off-camera entertainment, I think, happening on that show, much of which was captured on camera.
Now, the scope of something like Video Game Reunion, I mean, we blew up a van.
Yeah.
We were shooting in another location. Boozy Mom is this clean, it's like all in the side of the house pretty much, and we're following this character's journey in little 2-minute snippets as opposed to elongated episodes.
Yeah.
Tell me the difference between experimenting in the web format, between having something that is, really kind of epic on this like high concept scope versus like, no, these are these nice quick vignettes, quick punchlines that are hilarious and just grab you. Like you could watch all 6 of these in the time that you would watch, or all 5 of these, in the time that you would watch an episode of VGR.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that most of if you really distill a lot of the humor in a real argument between a mother and her kids or in a real event, you can really just get to the meat and potatoes, and I think in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And Boozy Mom does that. All of the events are compressed into a relatively short period of time, but you're able to get to the goods. And I think that I think we've had a lot of people, actual moms, that watch the show and they're like, "Oh my God, I wish I could do that," or "I've had that same situation
Right.
play out," and we're able to get there quicker. I mean, it's just it's one single event in her day. Maybe she found an extra baby in her house after a party. It's like someone left a baby here. And that story doesn't take a super long time to tell. There's only one main character and a couple orbiting characters. So unlike VGR, obviously, we had a large ensemble cast we had to follow around, tell a lot of parallel
Right.
storylines.
And you direct all of these, right?
I do. Yeah.
Now, is this so? Are you always behind the camera, or do you ever get in front of the camera?
This
or-
is I hate being in front. Like even this, I'm like trying not to pretend. I'm not clearly. I mean, I'm like a.
You're doing a very good job.
Yeah. No, I usually.
I mean,
have
you're
my,
pretending like I'm not here at the same time because you don't want your head to go from. That's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's like well, this Brendan's so pretty. I can't stop looking at him.
I know.
That's why I cast him and everything.
I've been there before.
Exactly.
But yeah. So you prefer directing it and being behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm a behind the scenes guy. Like I've been doing that for a long time, and I feel like that's definitely. I have a face for radio, and I definitely belong behind the camera. Yeah, but it's the 2 very different jobs. People always, I mean, actors, especially these days, have to a lot of times produce their own content. And it's hard doing both things. It's hard enough doing one thing. Right. And I think I'm not an actor, and I wouldn't want to be because it's a whole different skill set and a whole different mindset you have to be in on set. I think it's very difficult to try to do both at the same time.
Do me a favor and share with people because I never really get directors on here, and I know because I've actually worked for directors in Hollywood, so I know the process. But share with people what the process of being a director is, what it means to be a director on a project, and because I don't think people out there in Middle America understand that a director really is the one running the project.
That's an interesting conversation. I don't know how to condensing that. If we just grab the simplest part, it's difficult. It's more difficult now than it used to be because people, I think Brandon can attest to this, wear a lot more hats.
Yes.
Than it used to. A director usually meant you get hired to come on as a creative force, and your job, the people around you are supposed to support that. You have producers who deal with paperwork and logistics, and you have a director who just shows up every day and crazy head and comes up with what is ultimately going to be the movie. But now the director is the editor and the director is the producer, and you're thinking about so much more. You're thinking about social media, and you're thinking about all these ancillary things. 20 years ago.
How is this? Yeah, how is this going to play out 5 months from now? How is this going to play out 2 years from now?
How is this going to play out when they cut it for an airplane? How is it going to play out when they cut it to a different language? You're no longer able. I mean, unless you're Michael Bay, unless you're a really famous director, you should do whatever the hell you want. Especially people like us.
You can still show up and just be a crazy director.
Yeah, which is honestly what you need to be able to do the job. And I think the same goes for actors, almost more for actors, where they just now they're tweeting and they're constantly thinking about 10 different things instead of just, it's harder to just be the character these days. And I think that the same goes for directing. It's just very difficult to try to show up and just work on something creatively and not have to think about the 10 ancillary things that are distracting you and making you do a less good job directing. So it's harder now, I think, than it used to be on the independent level, at least.
Right.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Now, dovetailing off of that, you talked about how everybody now has to wear more hats, and actors are especially doing so many other things. Amy, I want to hear from you the idea about people always say, well, just make your own work. Just make your own work. As if like, oh yeah, I'll just go do that. But here you've created this iconic character that I think would be like a recurring lovely role on like an SNL.
Yeah.
Like someone that you'd be like, oh, it's Boozy Mom again. So talk about the idea of going like, fuck it, I'm going to make my own iconic character and my own series as an actress.
I think as an actor, you can feel incredibly out of control in your career and taking control and being like, no, I'm going to make my own thing. I'm going to create my own thing and show people what I can play instead of let me play this.
Yeah,
I think
please.
Please. So
I'll
that
put on
was-
a wig. I'll chirp. Whatever you want from me.
Right, and so it was a really empowering move for me to take control and be like, no, I'm going to do this. And it's been really a great learning process to see how to produce something and see all the different hats that you have to play and wear. And it's been great. I've loved it. I've loved
Really?
it.
You loved it?
I have loved it, yeah.
So last night we're at my office and we were having a meeting about
Why are
like
you gonna
technical
say all
delivery
the
specs.
bad
And
shit?
she's like, I don't want to know anything about this shit. Like, I don't want to know fucking file formats. And I'm just like, I'm like, exactly, because you shouldn't have to.
Okay.
Exactly.
I don't want to be the production manager, but I enjoy being the producer and the creator and the writer and doing all the fluffy nice stuff.
You have the what I call a lot of actors. We like to be the producer at the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like love to be the premiere
Yes.
producer. Can you talk about if the acting gods are listening now? You don't want to deal with file formats. What do you want to do next? Do you want to write more Boozy Mom and continue that storyline? Do you want to jump into something else? Do you have another series that you've got?
She wants to
an
ride
idea for?
horses. She just wants to fucking ride horses. Just put her in
My goal. I
Wait, do
really
you ride
want-
horses?
I do
I
ride
love
horses.
horseback riding.
Oh my
it's
gosh,
what
you
it's
should
my
go
number
horseback
one
riding.
goal. I'm in this huge weight loss kick. I'm down 50 pounds, but I still
Congrats.
have a
Oh my
ways to
gosh.
go. It's my number one goal for wanting to lose weight is so I can go back to horseback riding.
And get back
Because
on
I
that
miss
horse.
it so much. Yeah,
Wonderful.
because you have to, you don't want to, you have to have a weight limit on a horse,
Right.
to be perfectly fair. And that is my number one thing. I miss horseback riding so much. I think they're one of the most incredible creatures on this earth.
They are.
And
they're
I just
incredible.
love it. And the idea that you're on top of them, I know. But but just the
We'll just go grab a drink.
but the idea that you're riding this huge
You're
animal,
harnessing that power.
yeah, that on one hand they're being so respectful and listening to like the gestures of your legs and stuff, but then on the other hand, like they're totally in control.
They are. Well, they're beautiful.
I don't care
They're
what fits in there.
Well, so I'm going to kind of guide you with my leg.
But actually, the two.
It's you about you and
We
me.
need a water.
The two.
It's-
goals-
try it.
see the
Nothing
name
else
of the
is
show?
working.
Do you see the name of the show? It's the
it's
Bob
all
Show. Yeah,
about you.
exactly. So
That's true. That's fair. I get
the two goals that I had when I got to LA was I wanted to be a singer on a cruise ship,
Uh-huh.
and
She
I wanted
did.
to be in a western, and I wanted to be able to ride horses and have big vistas and have the wind blowing in my hair and wear
Yes.
the cute little outfits, right?
So is Boozy Mom going to become Clint Eastwood?
She's the producer. It'll become whatever the hell she wants.
I can make it happen. But I ended up being a singer on a cruise ship, which was awesome and amazing. And now the next step is to be in a western.
In a Western.
I
All right.
I
love
don't know
it.
if Boozy Mom will be.
I can see
Western.
Boozy Mom sitting on the back of her horse like, I just don't even know how to ride.
She's
this.
the sloppiest hand in the West.
they do. Wait, they
Brilliant.
Actually, it would be funny because they have that ride that you can take at Griffith Park.
Yeah.
You take the
Yes.
horseback ride up to the margaritas.
The
you drink the
Sunset
margaritas.
Ranch.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then you come back down after your margaritas, a horseback ride, and you're drunk.
I
You could
heard-
totally turn it into something.
Why
Yeah,
aren't
just
people
put a camera
robbing
on
those
it.
people blind every fucking day? Right? Like if it's like there's literally drunk horseback riders who have no experience getting away on
Yeah.
a horse. Right? Like,
Yeah.
there should be like a little like couple horseback gangs that show up and be like, look guys, you know how this is gonna go. Like
With the kerchiefs over their face.
yeah.
It is in the pitch black when you come home.
Yeah.
It's pitch black.
You've done
you're
it?
Drunk. I have done it. Oh my God. And they're right along. The horses go right along the edge of the cliff. And you're drunk and you're like, I'm gonna die, and the horse
Yeah.
is like.
Exactly. Once again,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, how does
was
the
the
horse go? I missed it. One more time for our audience.
Yeah.
once again, proof of what I was talking about. How we put a lot of power into that horse, and the horse is
We
really in
do.
control.
Well, we should go
Yeah.
horseback riding sometime.
Yes, and another 50 pounds.
You got it. I'm gonna put it on a little reminder on my phone.
Exactly. Brendan wants to take back over and ask you something professional.
No, just until you ride until you guys ride off into the sunset together. You guys should definitely go to boozymomtv.com or boozymom.tv.
Yeah,
YouTube.
boozymomtv.com or boozymom.com works too. I couldn't believe boozymom.com was available. Like, how
available.
was that not a
That
porn
is
site?
shocking. Yeah.
Like,
A
I'm
porn
like,
site.
well, I'm like, this is definitely going to be a porn
If
site.
you
Like,
Google Boozy Mom,
you,
a porn
you
site
may
comes
or
up.
may not
Right.
find some pretty great porn. I mean, terrible porn. God awful porn.
Wow, we're talking about porn now. Yeah, but you can go to boozymomtv.com or boozymom.com, or you can go to youtube.com.
What's the plan for more episodes?
If we
Ideally, I would like to be able to turn it into a 22-minute
Oh, nice.
pilot.
Nice.
Oh.
we are thinking about shooting a 22-minute.
Yeah, that'd be
version.
great.
Yeah,
It's-
or
there's
some
a-
more episodes. Just kind of depends on how it goes. And
The pilot version is
Yeah.
definitely a little different than the online show. It's
I
got a
love the
little more
pilot
heart to
version.
it.
Right.
I mean, the show has heart to it. You'd see if we made more episodes. It's definitely the character is still a good mom. She's just
It'd be interesting though. I don't think I've ever seen a show that playfully deals with alcoholism.
Yeah.
Other than Cheers. But I mean, it'd be interesting to have like an alcoholic parent like dealing with AA through the eyes of actually like a half-hour sitcom.
right.
Well, it's
yeah, and her
interesting.
Yeah, why
kid.
does she have to go to AA? Can't she just be drunk and fun?
Yeah,
it's just fun. She's not an alcoholic.
Right.
Gosh, Brendan. Like
Yeah.
I say, Boozy Mom isn't a drinking problem. It's a state of mind.
Ah,
So
is that the T-shirt? Is that the merch?
I
For
think
the
the
show?
T-shirt is actually extra baby. We made some extra baby shirts.
Extra
There's a whole
baby
I
episode
want to sell
called
them
Extra
to
Baby.
little babies.
Extra baby will make
Extra
sense if you see it. Yeah.
Perfect.
So when you have that extra kid.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Yeah,
coming on the
thanks for
show.
That's
Thank
fun.
you. It was nice to see you.
Stuff.
And for everybody else out there that's listening to us, I want to remind everybody we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we still have not given away the 2 tickets to Crullapalooza next week with Zach Galifianakis and Patton Oswalt and Ian Harvey. Lots of great people in it. So get near your phones because we're going to come back in just a few minutes. And then we'll go ahead and we'll give away those tickets. So you can be able to call in to 323-284-7826. And thank you guys so much again
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
today. It
us.
was
It was
so
fun.
great. And everybody check out their web series. And we're going horseback riding.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know
Yeah,
it.
screw these idiots. We don't need them.
Super not a good
Us,
idea.
man.
All
Screw
right.
us.
Yeah.
I say that every day.
They can meet us at the restaurant.
Sure.
If they're lucky, I don't even know that they're worthy, to tell you the truth. But that's that's just me. Anyways,
I'll just leave with them at the break.
We'll pick you up from the
Harsh
hospital.
show.
yeah,
We'll be the guys.
Relationships.
in the handkerchiefs.
yeah, exactly. Now we're gonna be robbed. You guys will be right back.